Hi everyone, and welcome to my live creative time today. My name's Mandy Witherby from Mandy's Papercraft Creations, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's great to have you along. Now, if you are watching live today on Facebook, you'll see a little red, oh, let's go this side, a little red live button up the top there in the top left hand corner, and you'll know that you're live with me. If you're watching the replay on Facebook later on, thank you so much. And if you're watching over on my YouTube channel once I upload this, thank you so much for visiting there as well. It's great to have you all with me and watching along. So as you're jumping on, say hi, let me know that you're here. I'd love to have a little chat with you and see how you're all going. Let me know, what did you get up to on the weekend? Did you have a lovely weekend? While everyone's just catching up on their notifications here on Facebook and jumping on, I'm just going to call this up on my computer so that I can see all of your comments over there. So just bear with me for one moment while I'll just bring this up on my computer. And there we go. Great. Hey Robin, how you going? Great to see you today. I'm getting there. Yes, my back is still quite touchy, so I've got to be careful how I move, but definitely coping a lot better now than I was a few weeks ago. So thank you so much, and it's great to be back here live with you all as well. Hi Diane, how are you? Great to see you again today. I've already seen you once today. What a blessing that we get to see each other twice in one day. That's awesome. So how was your weekend, ladies? Did you have a nice weekend? We had beautiful weather here in Sydney, and I'm just trying to think what I did. I don't think I did very much. Yesterday I rested a lot because my back was pretty sore. So I rested a fair bit yesterday after sitting up for too long. I've got to try, I really need to time myself and not sit beyond a couple of hours. Otherwise, I'm in trouble. Hey Jenny, how you going? Great to have you with us today. Robin said her weekend was not bad, thank you. Glad to hear you're much better. Nice crafting weekend. Yes. Yeah, it was a good weekend for crafting too. I had to film a class on the weekend actually. So I got that filmed, which was good. Got an upcoming class. So that's awesome. I'm really looking forward to being able to get outside again and get a little bit of sunshine, because I still can't walk around too much. So yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to get outside soon and catch a few rays. It's quite warm here today actually. It's about 34 degrees I think they said. So yeah, quite warm today. But yeah, so it's been really lovely weather. We have had a few storms as well. I think in the evening, oh, I can't remember. There was hail the other day. I don't know what day that was. But yeah, we had some hail. So yeah, it's sort of like 4 seasons in one day here at the moment. Okay, well, feel free to keep chatting with me. Leave me some comments, give me some thumbs up or hearts. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And as I'm crafting today, feel free to craft along with me. If you have brought along your own projects, then feel free to craft along with me. And from time to time, you might want to look up to have a look at what I'm showing you. And otherwise, if not, then feel free just to sit back and relax and enjoy what I have for you today. I've got a really easy card to create today, and we're going to be doing some watercoloring. So watercoloring is a great technique, and it's really, really easy. So I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that you can do it today. Well, actually, a few different ways that you can do it today. All right, so I wanted to just let you know too, I have a class coming up using the Rainbow of Happiness bundle. You may have seen that in the current mini catalog. So let me find the page there for you. I think I didn't actually mark that particular page, but I've got a class coming up and the RSVP date is actually tomorrow. So we're going to be using this one here. So we've got the stamp sets and the coordinating dies. and that's what we're going to be using for the class. And we've got 3 gorgeous projects. Now you get to make 6 cards because you get to make 2 of each of those projects. So the event is it's on my website. It's also on my business page here on Facebook. Now, if you are watching this on YouTube after I upload that later today, feel free to go over to my blog or to my website. On my website you can see the full calendar, but I also have a link to that on my blog as well, and you can click on that to get all of the details. You can click on that, there's a registration form there, you can fill in that registration form, and then I can send you the payment details and register you for this class. It's going to be lovely. The projects are really, really beautiful. So if you love rainbows, then you'll want to do this class. It's going to be fantastic. So the RSVP date is tomorrow, Tuesday the 22nd. So be sure to register by then if you would like to participate in my class. So there's a few different options. There's an option including the stamp set. There's an option including the whole bundle, the stamp set and dies. And then there's an option that if you already have those products, you can substitute for other products to a particular amount, which is specified in the class project. So be sure to check in the class advertisement, sorry. So be sure to check that out. If you have any questions about that, feel free to get in contact with me. You can send me a private message here on Facebook, or you can email me at mandyspapercraftcreations@gmail.com, and I can answer any of your questions that you might have. But I would love to have you join us for that class. Now, just to let you know too, it is a pre-recorded class to go. So what that means is I will send you out, I will order the products for you. I'll send them out for you with your project kits to put together your cards. And then what will happen is on class day, which is going to be in March, I think it's the 12th of March is the class day. Let me double check. Yes, 12th of March is the class day. I'll email you with the class video. So it's a full tutorial video for the 3 projects, including tips and tricks and things. I always include a few along the way, and photos of the projects as well to use as your reference. And then that way you can do that class whenever you like. You can do it in bits and pieces. You can do it all in one sitting. You can do it at your own leisure whenever you like, and you've got full access to that video forever. So you can refer back to it anytime you like. So that's how that class is running at the moment. I'm going to be doing a few different types of classes. So yeah, watch out for the different types of classes, and I'm hoping to have some Zoom classes coming up soon too, where we can gather together and craft together via Zoom, which will be fantastic. And yeah, so I hope that you're able to join me for some of those. Now let me just check, have I missed any comments? No, we're all good. I think we're up to date. Awesome. So currently we have got a fantastic promotion running called Celebration. If you haven't seen this, then let me tell you a little bit about Celebration. Firstly, it says on the front of the brochure here, 4th of January to the 28th of February. But here in the South Pacific, which is Australia and New Zealand, it's actually been extended to the 16th of March. And that is because some of the products were delayed in coming to us because of the global shipping crisis. They are all available now, but because they're a little bit delayed in coming, Stampin' Up! Has extended the time here in the South Pacific for us to offer this to everybody, which is fantastic. So during Celebration, you can choose products for free from this brochure with qualifying orders. So there's level 1 and level 2. Level 1 is when you purchase products up to, over the value of $90. then you get to choose a level 1 item. And then if you happen to purchase over 100 or place an order of over $180, then you get to choose either 2 level 1 items, or you get to choose a level 2 item, which is higher value. There's lots of beautiful things in there. There's stamp sets, there's designer series paper, there's even the beautiful rainbow paper, rainbow and sunshine paper, and we're going to be using some of that in my upcoming class, my Rainbow of Happiness card class. We're going to be using some of that paper as well, because that coordinates beautifully with the bundle we're using. But there's all different sorts of things in here. Yeah, beautiful stamp sets. I've been showing this for quite a few weeks. Look at this one. This one's gorgeous. This is a level 2 item, so available for free. You can choose that for free with a qualifying order of over $180, and you get a stamp set and you get a pack of designer series paper, which is 12 by 12 inches. So that one's a really gorgeous one as well. But there's lots in there. So if you don't already have a celebration brochure, let me know. I'd love to get one to you. If you're concerned that it might not get to you in time, I do have a PDF version of it on my blog. So all of the current catalogs, you can find a PDF version there on my blog if you want to go there and have a look. You'll find them down the right-hand column on my homepage of my blog. Okay, so you can have a look there. You can also find them as well via my website. So either way. Hey Robin, how you going? Good to see you here. We've got 2 Robins on here now today. I wonder if our 3rd Robin will jump on today too. Okay, so it's great to have you here with us. Now also too, let me just tell you, during celebration, if you would like to become part of an awesome stamping community and enjoy the community, enjoy the fun, get a great discount and get some freebies as well, during celebration we also have a special joining offer. So it's this one here. You can find that in your celebration brochure on pages 18 and 19. And during celebration, when you purchase the starter kit, you actually get to choose an additional 2 free stamp sets. So they can be any 2 current stamp sets that are from the mini catalog, the annual catalog, or from the online store. And you can even choose the most expensive ones if you want them. So that's up to over $100 in value for free, on top of the freebies that you already get with your starter kit. So you only pay $169, but you get to choose $235 worth of product in your starter kit. And then you get free shipping on that as well, plus the additional 2 stamp sets. And then you get an ongoing 20 to 25% discount on all of your products. You can stay as long as you like. You can leave whenever you like. There's no exit penalties or anything like that. No lock-in periods. If you decide that it's not for you, you can leave anytime. But there's so many great benefits of becoming part of the Stampin' Up! Family, and we get new product early, new catalogs early. There's special demonstrator only groups where we get lots and lots of creative inspiration, which is awesome. We've got a demonstrator only website, we have demonstrator only events, which are fantastic, and so much more. And can I just tell you that I have made some of the most beautiful friends through Stampin' Up! That one, I never expected that when I first joined. I joined to get the discount. I didn't join for any other reason originally but to get the discount. I changed my mind after about 18 months and decided, I can actually do something that I love and turn that into a business. And that was my choice. Not everybody chooses to do that. A lot of people just join to enjoy the discount for themselves, and that's totally fine. If you don't want to sell to anyone, you don't have to do Facebook Lives or anything like that. That's all good. You can just join for the discount. But yeah, and I just have made the most beautiful friends, and I love that we all have such a passion for crafting. Like I thought nobody else was as passionate about crafting and paper crafting as I was, until I joined Stampin' Up! And I found all of these beautiful friends who love it as much as I do, and it's just been such a blessing. So yeah, if that sounds interesting to you, or something that you might like to explore or find out more about, feel free to get in contact with me and ask me any questions. I'm happy to answer any questions that you would like to ask me in regards to joining my beautiful crafting community. My team is called the Papercraft Gems because I do believe that everyone is precious and valued, and that is the motto of my team. And I have lovely connections with everybody in my team, so really beautiful friends in there. And some of my team members have also become friends with each other as well, as they've met through the group and they've met when we've had in-person events and things. So yeah, so it's really, really lovely community. So anyway, if you would like more information about that, then please let me know. All right, well, so that's this celebration, and of course we've got the beautiful mini catalog today. We're going to be using one of the products out of that one today, and I'm going to show you that in a minute when I put the camera down. And then of course we've got our beautiful big annual catalog as well. So if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that you're working with here in Australia, and you would love those catalogs, let me know, because I would love to share them with you and send you out a copy. Now, if you're watching from another country and you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, feel free to let me know as well, because I do know Stampin' Up! Demonstrators in all different countries. So I'm happy to hook you up with a demonstrator if you don't already have one. And yeah, I'll be happy to help you in that way. Hey Rose, how you going? Rose says, hi Mandy, great to see you here again. Yeah, it's great to be here with you all. I missed you terribly when I wasn't able to do my Facebook Lives, so I'm really happy to be back. All right, so remember the Rainbow of Happiness card class, the RSVP and registration closes tomorrow, Tuesday the 22nd of February 2022. The catalogs, we've got celebration happening, and yeah, lots and lots of fun things. Alrighty, so let me just share with you what we're going to be playing with today. So as I said, we're going to be doing some watercoloring. There's lots of different ways you can do watercoloring, but we're going to be using one of the brand new products from the mini catalog, and it's called Every Chapter. And I just absolutely love this. Now there's lots of different things you can do with this. I'm keeping it very simple today. And we're going to do a bit of watercoloring with this one. Hey Shani, great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, so we're going to be using this one today, and this one in the catalog, I think it's really easy to overlook it because it's a standalone stamp set. So it just features with another stamp set on a page. I'll show you in the catalog when I tip the catalog down, the camera down, so you can see where to find it. But yeah, I think it's one to easily overlook, but it's just so beautiful. So how about we cover up the camera, we'll tip that down, and we'll get crafting. So who's crafting along with me today? Let me know while I'm getting the camera all set up for you. Let me know who's crafting along with me today. All right, bear with me for one moment. I'm just going to cover up the camera. I'm going to flip these cameras, and then did they flip? Hang on, I hope that they flipped. We'll find out in a minute. And I'm just going to adjust my stand. Okay, because I can stand up now to do that, which is good. And let's see if I get this in the right spot or not. I'll adjust my lights. All right, you still all with me? Okay, let's see. Now, did I get that flipped the right way around? Pop that up there. Oh, I did. Awesome. But we are very, very crooked. All right, let me just straighten that up for you. Okay, how's that looking? Is that looking a bit better? That's a bit better. Still not perfect, but I think we're okay. I think it'll be, I think that's pretty good. Alrighty, fantastic. Okay, good. I might just move these down a little bit. So any of the products that I'm showing you today, you can find them in my online store. If you need any help finding anything, or you need help with your orders, then feel free to get in contact with me. But if you're looking for my online store, you can go to my blog, which is mandyspapercraftcreations.blogspot.com, and click on the shop button at the top of the page. Or you can go to my, sorry, I'm just adjusting my chair here to get myself comfortable. Or you can go to my website and you can click on shop now at the top of the, there's a shop tab at the top of my website as well. This is my host code for February 2022. So if you're shopping with me, be sure to use my host code, and with any orders over $50, I will send you a lovely thank you gift, and all orders receive a thank you card from me as well. All right, so let me show you where to find this stamp set that we're using today in our mini catalogue. Okay, so it's in the mini catalogue, and if you go all the way over to page 62, so it's towards the back. Hang on, let me move that out from under there for a minute. Page 62, this is where you will find it. So it's on a page here with this other one as well, which is called More Love, which is another beautiful stamp set as well. But these two are awesome. Now there's some samples there as well to show you how you, one way that you can use this stamp set, showing you very basic, quick and easy card. Then you've got it stepped up a little bit, and then stepped up even a little bit more. So depending on how you want to use it, yeah, so many different ways you can use it. I've also seen people mask off the words, or some of the words, as they're stamping it as well. So if you don't like the sentiment that's on there, you can actually mask those off before you stamp it, and have the book binders blank. So that's another idea. All right, we're going to be using some coloring tools as well, and I'm going to show you where to find them in the annual catalogue. I'll just move some of this other stuff out of the way. There we go. So the big annual catalogue, if you turn over to page 126 in the annual catalogue. Now, as I said, you can find these online as well, in my online store, but I'm just showing you where to look for them in the catalogue if you have the catalogues. So we're going to be using the watercolor pencils today, but you can also use for watercoloring the soft pastel assortment. You can also use the Stampin' Write markers as well. You can also use your ink pads. So I'm just grabbing out some random colors. These aren't the colors we're using today, but I'm just grabbing out some random colors. So I'll show you a couple of different ways of doing the coloring with doing watercoloring techniques. So if you are looking for coloring tools, you can go over to page 129, and you can find the water painters, which is what we're going to be using today. We've also got blending brushes as well, which I was going to show you a little sample of using those as well. So they're two of the tools that you can use for water painting. You can also use your Wink of Stella. If you want to do watercoloring with a little bit of shimmer in it, you can watercolor with your Wink of Stella as well. So that's another idea. Alrighty, so that's where to find the products. Now let's have a look and see. So I've shown you the stamp set. So I'm going to show you the watercolor pencils. Now I've got both sets of the watercolor pencils, and I keep them in a pencil roll. This was made by a friend of mine. And I used to carry this with me when I used to travel a lot, especially when I used to go down to visit my mum. I'd always take these with me in my little pencil roll, and it was an easy way for me to be able to store them. But they do come in little boxes, so you can keep them in the box. And here are all the beautiful colors. So I've got both packs of colors in here. Plus, I've got a couple of extra, I think there's 3 extra ones in there as well, which are just duplicates of some of the other colors, because we had a card kit at one stage that had some watercolor pencils in it, and so I added them to here as well. Now, the ones that I'm using today, I've already pulled out of here, because we're not using very many colors today, and I'm keeping it very neutral. So these are the colors that we're using today. So I'm using Old Olive, Balmy Blue, Early Espresso, Basic Grey, and a little bit of Daffodil Delight. So keeping it really, really neutral today. So using sort of more regal colors with a pop of Daffodil Delight, which is a bit brighter. In here too, I've also got a blending brush, so I'm going to be showing you how to use blending brushes, and I've got some water painters there as well. So that's just how I keep my my pencils. And also too, I keep a little sample Just pop those over to the side. I keep a little sample in there as well. Whoops, hang on, it's going to roll away from me. There we go. I keep a little sample in there as well of all of the colors. So this is another great tip that you can do if you have your watercolor pencils and you don't remember what the colors are going to look like, or you're not sure which colors you want to choose. Keep a little swatch of colors for yourself. I keep this in my pencil roll, and I've got two samples here. So I've got a sample using the aqua paint or the water painter, and a sample using the blender brush, because you will get a slightly different effect. And I'm not sure if that'll show up on camera, but with the water painters, you get a softer effect, whereas with the blending brush, you do get, you still get the watercolor look, but it's a little bit more sort of streaky looking. Not sure if that will show up very well on camera or not. But yeah, so I just keep those samples so that I can straight away work out exactly what colors I'm going to need, and it makes it a lot quicker. So we'll do a couple of little samples for you. The other thing is too, I've got a sample here of different ways that you can use the pencils. So you can use the watercolor pencils just on their own, so just straight coloring. That's using the water painters, or we used to know them as aqua painters, but now Stampin' Up has their own brand, so they're called water painters. That's using the blender pen. This one here is using the blender, so that's coloring with the pencil and then going over it with the blender pen. But with the blender pen, you can also go direct to mark or direct to tip, so you can take the color directly off the tip of your pencil. You do get a lighter effect, but you can do that as well. So that's another technique. And then you can do watercoloring with the Wink of Stella. So you color it first with the pencil, and then you go over it with your Wink of Stella, and that makes your piece all sparkly. So that's a few different ideas. Okay, so let me grab, you know what, I didn't grab out a scrap piece of cardstock to show you some of those sample ways of coloring. Oh, hang on a minute, I've got another pencil in there we're using today, which I forgot. Cajun Craze, we're using that one as well today. So that's our color palette that we're using today. Alrighty, let me just grab some scrap of basic white. Okay, sorry, I forgot to get that out beforehand. So I've just got a little scrap of basic white here, and I'll show you a couple of different things. So as I said, we're going to use the watercolor pencils today for our coloring, but I just wanted to show you a couple of different ways that you can do it. So let's I'll grab one that we are using. So what's this one? That's Balmy Blue. So I'll grab a Balmy Blue. Oh, I don't have a Balmy Blue Stampin' Right marker actually, because mine has run out. We've got Old Olive. Let's grab Old Olive. Hang on a sec, I'm just moving some things here. So if I grab an Old Olive ink pad and an Old Olive Stampin' Right marker, we'll put these bright ones away because we're not using brights today. Okay, so there's a couple of things, a couple of different ways you can do it. All right, so you can do coloring with your pencil. Okay, so imagine this is a stamped image and we're coloring that in. You can then go over that with your water painter. So to get your water painter running, you're going to fill it up with water. And just so you know, the tips of these screw off in the opposite direction to what you're used to. Okay, so normally they would unscrew that, what's that, anti-clockwise, but they actually unscrew clockwise. So it's a little bit back to front. So don't get confused with that. And then you're going to take the lid off. You're going to pop in a little bit of water in the barrel there, and don't fill it up any more than where that line is at the top, because you need a little bit of room for the air when you put the lid back on. And then you're going to give a couple of squeezes. It says here push on this side and that side. You're just going to give a couple of squeezes to let that run. Now, when you're doing that, it's a good idea to have either a chucks cloth or a paper towel. I usually have both nearby because sometimes the water will run a little bit too quickly and you'll need to dry it off a bit. So I just test it on my hand a little bit first, or you can test it on your paper. And then when you've got the desired moisture on your tip, on your brush tip, then you know it's ready to go. So then you can just color where you have, you just watercolor over the pencil, okay? And you end up with that. Now to clean the tip, you can either, again, clean that on your paper towel or your cloth, or just wipe it on your cardstock, if you've got scrap cardstock or scrap paper. So I'm just going to use my paper towel here. So you just give a little bit of a squeeze to get that water running, and then just brush the tip, and then you're ready to go for your next color. All right, so that's the first way, and that's what we're going to be using today. And these water painters, they come in a 3-pack of 3 different tips. So you've got a very fine tip, which is great for coloring very fine detail. Then you've got the medium tip, which is the one that I just used. Okay, that's the one we're going to be using today mostly. Well, actually we are, because I don't have any water in this one. And then we've got the wide brush. So this one is really great for if you're doing water wash backgrounds or watercolor backgrounds. That's really great for this. Also, I have one of these that I use all the time for sealing my envelopes, just with water in it. Rather than licking my envelopes, I use that to put on the sticky part of the envelope to seal my envelopes, because, you know, we don't want to be licking envelopes these days. And envelopes are never taste nice to lick them anyway. So, all right, so there we go. So that's what we're using today. Now the next thing you can do is let's color again. And you can use the blending brush. Now, or blender brush. Now the blender brush is different to the Stampin' blends. Okay, so don't get them confused. This is a Stampin' blend. This one is alcohol based. Okay, so we don't want to be using that for watercoloring. They are beautiful to color with, and yes, you can definitely color this stamp set with those, but you get a different effect. Okay, but they are one of my favorite coloring tools. But these are blender brushes, and the blender brushes come in a pack of 3, and they're dual tip. So, oh, I've actually got this. Oh, I didn't realize this one is one of my old ones, and I just realized I've pushed the tip in. Ah, okay, so this one is currently only going to be able to be used on one end. No, I can't get that. I'll need to fix that with my tweezers. But they are dual tipped, and so so they have a different. They are great for watercoloring. They're acid free, xylene free. And I'm not sure of the stuff that's inside them. I'm not sure if it's just water or what it is, but whatever it is, the solution in it blends your pencils beautifully. All right, and then to clean this off, you just use a scrap and you just scribble it to get it clean, and then you're ready to go for the next color. So that's the difference between those two. Okay. So you can see they're slightly different. The blender brush gives more, I think, of a sort of a chalkier look to it rather than the watercolor brushes or the water painters. So quite different. All right, then we can do, this is like a watercolor 101 class. Oh, Robin just said she's ordered some. It's a good idea on how to store them. Yes, and the roll, the pencil roll. Yeah, it is. All right, so then you can use your Wink of Stella, and if you just get that running, and then you can blend with that as well, because that's water based. All right, and then again, clean that between colors on a scrap piece of paper. Okay, and that gives a similar effect to the blending brush, but it's got the shimmer in it, and the lights probably won't even pick that up. The camera probably won't pick that up, but I can see that it actually has a shimmer. If I hold it that way, I can see it, but I'm not sure if you can see it on camera. All right, so that's another way. Then another thing you can do is if you take a block, or you can do this on a plastic plate as well, you can take your Stampin' Write markers. Okay, remember, this is a Stampin' Write marker, water-based. This is a Stampin' Blend, which is alcohol based. You don't want to do this technique with this one, okay? It won't work. All right, so take your Stampin' Write marker. I'll take the brush tip, scribble that onto a clear block or a plastic plate. Then you can pick that color up either with your water painter or your blender brush or your Wink of Stella, and you can pick that color up. Whoop, you need your brush fairly wet to do that. And then you can color with that. And that gives a different effect again. Okay, so see all these different effects. Okay, so let's clean that off. And the other thing you can do is if you have ink pads, if you've got any of the classic Stampin' pads in any colors, you can do watercoloring. So what you're going to do is take your block, dab it onto, your pad, dab it onto one of your blocks, or again onto a plastic plate if you don't have the clear blocks. But most of us that are stampers have clear blocks because we need to put our stamps on them. And then you can pick up your color from your block. Now, depending on the intensity of the color, you can drop water from your water painter onto your block. Okay, like that. Or you could use a spritzer and you can dilute that color a bit as well. Okay, and then you can color like that. This is a great technique too for doing backgrounds if you want to do washes, especially if you want to use your large brush. Okay, so there's a few different ways of doing watercoloring. And then again, just to clean your brush, give a squeeze, let that water run, and just brush it backwards and forwards onto, just as you would with a paintbrush. So basically, this is a paintbrush, but rather than having something that you've got to dip constantly into water, you've got the water flowing constantly through it from the barrel there. Okay, so that's a few ideas for you with watercoloring. I'm going to pop that block over to the side and hope that I don't sit anything down into that because we don't want that ink to go everywhere. And I don't have my baby wipes out. I normally have them out every time I craft and I didn't get them out today. Alrighty, so there you go. So there's a very brief 101 class on watercoloring techniques. You might have other techniques as well that you know of. And feel free to share those with you if it's something that I have missed today or not included. All right, so let's get back to what we're going to be using today, which is our water painters and our pencils. And as I said too, there's also the pastels. I forgot to get them out, but you can also do watercoloring with the pastel assortment as well, because they're a beautiful soft. You get a beautiful soft chalky effect with those, so it looks a little bit different again. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is talk about ink as well that we're stamping our design with, or stamping, let's move this to the side. We're going to be stamping our image with Stazon ink. Okay, whenever you're doing watercolor, you want the ink of your image to be permanent. Okay, so you need to use Stazon or a solvent-based ink pad. And that is what we're going to be using for our watercoloring today. Okay, now when you're using the Stazon, you do need, because it's a permanent ink, you do need a special Stazon cleaner for it, which Stampin' Up sells. And this one is specifically for cleaning this Stazon ink off your stamps. Okay, now you have to be careful if you're using this on photopolymer stamps as well, because the clear photopolymer stamps are more porous, and so if you happen to be using Stampin' Up doesn't suggest that you use the Stazon on photopolymer, but if you do and you use the Stazon cleaner, then what I suggest you do is straight away clean them with the Simply Chamois or run them under a tap to remove any of that Stazon cleaner from the photopolymer, just so it doesn't break that down over time. Okay, but the best types of stamps to use are the cling or the red rubber stamps. Okay, so they're the best ones to use when you're using Stazon. Alrighty, now the stamp we're using today is a big stamp, and so I have brought in my Stamparatus to help me today. If you don't have a Stamparatus and you want to use your blocks, oh, I just realized my block isn't even clean. I didn't clean that properly after I filmed my class the other day. You'll need an E size block for this stamp because it's a really large stamp. So you need a really large block. Okay, so that's an E size block. And the Stamparatus is great for if you have arthritis or painful hands or wrists, or can't apply enough pressure onto your blocks. The Stamparatus is a great tool to have, and because it's a big stamp and I've got a bad back at the moment, it's difficult for me to use large stamps and put enough pressure, so I'm using the Stamparatus. Okay, so I've got my stamp already set up on that, so I will show you that in a moment. Let me show you some of the other products we're using today for our card. We're using the Subtle 6x6 Designer Series paper. This paper is fantastic. It's just got really plain patterns on it, which are great for all different types of projects, and these are in the Subtle range color. So there's 10 different colors in there in the Subtles range. You get 2 sheets of each paper, and each paper is double-sided so that you've got 4 different designs. Okay, so if I show you here, oh, that's the same as that one. So that one, I think I've got these all flipped over. Oh, no, I've run, oh yeah, no, I've only got 3 left of that one. So the other side of that one is that. Okay, so you've got the 4 different designs. So that comes in a pack of 48 sheets, and you've got all those beautiful colors. So they are great for your projects because sometimes if you're unsure of which Designer Series paper to use, or you would like to you'd like to add a little bit of something to your project and you're not sure which paper is going to match, then having the Color Collection Designer Series papers are a great idea, and they come in each of the color collections. So there's the Subtles, the Regals, the so what have we got? Subtles, Regals, Brights, Neutrals, and then you've got the 2 in colors as well. And the in colors come in smaller packs, of course, because there's only 5 in colors in each of the color ranges. So we're using those. We're going to be using some ribbon and bling, but I haven't decided which ones we've got yet, so we're going to choose them together later. I've got them out all ready to go. Now this is a really simple project that we're making today. Very simple layout, because the hero of the project is actually the stamp and all the detail on the stamp, so you don't need much more with it. Of course, as I said, there's lots that you can do and you can change it up, but I'm going to make it really simple today. All right, so I haven't written down measurements for all of these pieces today, so I'm going to grab my ruler and tell you as we go, because I forgot to write them down. So we've got a card base of Old Olive, and this has been cut in lengthways, so it's half of the length of an A4 sheet. So it's 29.7 centimeters long by 10.5 centimeters wide, and then we've scored and folded that in half at 14.85 centimeters. Then we've got 2 little strips of that Designer Series paper, again in the oh, actually this is Pear Pizzazz, not Old Olive, sorry, this is Pear Pizzazz, not Old Olive. Old Olive is deeper than this one. This is Pear Pizzazz because we're using the Subtles. So we have got 10.5 by 1.5 centimeters. So we've got 2 strips of that. Then we've got a piece of cinnamon cider, and the cinnamon cider measures 10.5 by 13 centimeters. And then our front piece, or where our focal image is going to be stamped, is again 10.5 centimeters by 12.5 centimeters. Okay, so just half a centimeter difference there. All right, so basically the entire layout is going to line up side to side. We're going to have a strip at the top and the bottom there, and then these 2 are going to layer up, and we're going to just have a layout that is going to look like that with our stamped image. Okay, so that's kind of, whoops, that's going to be at the top and the bottom. Oh, like so. So that's kind of how the layout is going to be. So it's going to be really quick and easy. And then we're going to decide on the ribbon and bling, if we're going to add any ribbon. And of course we are going to add bling because every card needs bling. All right, so let's start with our basic white piece. Hang on a sec, I'm just getting everything all set up over here. There we go. We'll bring in our paper, our what do you call it? I've gone blank. Our paper towel, that one, that's what we need. We're going to need that for our colouring. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do is I've already popped my stamp onto my mat there, but I didn't actually measure where I needed to have this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up, actually let me just flip this, I'll flip this back over to the centimetre side. So the Stamparatus, it comes with a foam mat, which I've already taken out because we're using a red rubber cling stamp. We don't need the additional foam mat in there. Comes with a grid on the base, but I'm using the additional small grid paper to keep that base clean. And I'm using a magnet as well to hold that in place. And then I can use another magnet. I've got a second magnet that I can use to hold down the cardstock. Now, this is also great for if you are, oh, by the way, this is thick basic white because we're doing watercolouring. It's better to have thick cardstock so that it doesn't pill or, and it's less likely to curl up. Might curl a little bit, but you can always flatten that out with a little bit of heat embossing, or a little bit of heat from your embossing tool, I should say. So I've got this lined up. Now what I would normally do is I would normally line up my stamp. So let's just take the stamp off there and I'll show you how to do this if you haven't seen the Stamparatus before. So I'd line up my cardstock, pick up my magnet, which I have washi tape on my magnet. I'll actually move that over and line that up on the grid. Okay, so I just wrapped my magnets in washi tape, which helps me to pick them up, and also in case they snap together and break, it stops those little shards of metal going everywhere, which thankfully has never happened to me yet, but I know a lot of friends who that has happened to. So then you can just line up, so you've got your cardstock in place, line up your stamp where you want to have that, your stamped image, then close your lid and pick up your stamp with your lid. And the cardstock's still in place because we put the magnet on there. Now, if you wanted to place a second magnet, it's stored under the base here. I'll show you. It's stored under the base. You can use a second magnet, but you just have to keep the magnets apart. So I could put a second magnet up here, up the top. In fact, let's do that. Just in case we don't get a good stamped image the first time and we want to stamp again. Make sure that we have, oh, my washi tape's coming off that one. Make sure we keep that right in the right spot and just check that your magnets aren't going to be in the way of where you're stamping your image. All right, so then what we're going to do is we're going to take our Stazon ink. Now when you open your Stazon ink, it has a little plastic protector which helps it from drying out, or stops it from drying out. All right, I'm going to rub, rub, rub and pat, 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 and to make it easier, I'm going to pop my stamp case just underneath the plastic plate there. So we're just going tap, tap, tap. This one actually feels a little bit dry. I've got another one here. Let me see. This one might need re-inking. I don't remember which one it was that I grabbed out when I was getting this ready, actually. Is that, yep, that's, I'm just checking I've got the right one. Thankfully, I had a second one. Yes, that one. There, okay, this one needs re-inking. So I will, we do sell the re-inkers as well for the Stazon ink. So if they do get a little bit dry, I haven't used mine for a while, then you can just re-ink them. There we go. Okay. And then we're just going to, oh, I can see I didn't get a proper coverage of ink just there on that little flower. There we go. Now, if we don't get a good stamped image the first time, then because we've got that cardstock held down with those magnets, and we've got the grid paper too, and normally what I would do is I would also pencil mark around that cardstock so I know exactly where I've lined it up, just in case it happens to move. All right, so see, we didn't get a very good stamped image that time. So because that's held in place with the magnets, we can stamp again. So we'll just load up our stamp again with our ink. And it seemed to be on this side more so. All right, and then we can stamp again, and we'll give a bit more pressure this time. I think I didn't push hard enough on that side of my stamp. So sometimes too, I've seen people use, you can use a cloth if that helps, and you can rub over your stamp. You can use a duster, like a chalkboard duster. There we go, that's better. Still haven't got quite enough ink just there on that flower and where it says chapter on that book. So I might just put a little bit more ink on that bit there and the bottom of the glasses there. Okay, so let's go over that there, and just give a nice press there. There we go, that's better. Okay. Whoop. So just carefully remove those magnets now. Now remember that I said that your Stazon needs to be cleaned off with the Stazon Cleaner. Okay, so it is a little bit messy to clean it off, so just make sure you've got some scrap paper and some baby wipes, and then I always use my Stampin' chamois at the end as well, just to give it a clean over with some water, because the water is in the chamois. So, but I'll clean that off later and we'll keep going. All right, so as I said, we're using thick basic white, and I'm going to put down some paper underneath. Now normally what I would do is I would let that dry a little bit before taking your watercolor to it, just so that it has time for that ink to dry before you start coloring it with any watercolor. Okay. Oh, hey Laurie, how are you? I just saw that you had jumped on. Great to have you with us today. All right, let me just catch up on a few comments here. Oh, hey Megan, Megan's here too. Making cards with the All Together Now suite, which you got today. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I'm so glad that you're crafting along with me, Megan. That's fantastic. How's the weather over there, Laurie, in Ohio? I bet it's pretty chilly over there by now. Robin says she puts 2 dimensionals on the plastic lid of her Stazon. 2 dimensionals on the plastic lid to stay put on the black lid. Oh, easier to open. Okay, so she puts 2 dimensionals on here so that when she closes this lid, it adheres to that lid, and when she lifts that one off, they come off together. That's a really good tip. I'll have to try that. Thanks, Robin. Great tip. Oh, Laurie said it's cold, but tomorrow almost 60. Oh, that's 60 degrees Fahrenheit. I wonder what that is in Celsius. Who can tell me what 60 degrees Fahrenheit is in Celsius? I would need to check my converter, which I don't have on me right now. Well, I have, but it's on my phone, which is filming for us right now. All right, so first of all, I'm going to color the cup. Now, when you're doing watercoloring, you don't need to be really precious with the coloring of what you're with your watercolor pencils, because you're going to be going back over them with the water painter, and it's going to blend all of that ink. So don't be too worried if your coloring isn't neat and beautiful and all the rest of it. Now with the cup, I don't want that too dark. I just want to take away a little bit from it being stark white like the background. So I'm just doing that a little bit. And then I'm going to do the leaves a bit heavier. I'm going to go a bit heavier with that. Oh, there you go. Laurie said it's 15.6 degrees tomorrow, Celsius. 15.6 degrees Celsius tomorrow. Oh, that's not a bad temperature for a winter's day, Laurie. Very good. All right, so then I'm going to use the Balmy Blue for the glasses for a little pop of color. And we're going to do all of the coloring with the pencils first, and then we're going to do the watercoloring part. So you're going to have nice blue glasses there. So I'm keeping the palette of this one, as I said at the beginning, fairly neutral, just with a little bit of pop of color here and there. I'm also, while I've got the blue, I'm also going to color in the label here, the one that says every in blue. And then this book down here is also going to be blue. Now, don't freak out that I'm coloring in different directions, okay? If my daughter was watching me do this, she'd be going, oh my goodness, Mum, you can't color in different directions. You've got to always color in the same direction. But remember, we're going to be watercoloring. So we're going to be blending all of this ink from this pencil, or well, it's not ink. What is it? What do you call that? So it doesn't matter. So don't be worried if you're not coloring all the same direction. Okay. Let's go back in with the green. We're going to color these leaves a little bit green here. And we've got some more leaves up here too on our little daffodil or little flower, whatever type of flower that is. All right, so now our book here is going to be green. So we're going to do the edges there. There we go. Oh, Laurie said she hopes the weather stays that way, but she knows it's just a tease. Oh, so it's obviously normally much colder than that, Laurie. So we've got today, I was saying earlier, Laurie, we've got today, I think it was 34 degrees Celsius. Now I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit. So you'll have to do the conversion the opposite way this time. But yeah, it's been quite warm today. All right, so that's our old olive. Then I'm taking a little bit of early espresso, and I'm going to do these little strips here on the book binding in early espresso. Then we're going to do the bottom book in early espresso while I've got that in my hand. So this one down here. And again, remember, don't have to color neatly with these because we're going to be watercoloring over them. So we might even, I was just thinking I should have maybe got out the fine brush, but I don't think I put water in it. And I don't have my water, my little water filler upper here with me. I've got a little bottle that's got a little spout on it that's really good for filling up. And I'm just, this part here where the friendship is, I'm just going to do that lighter. Yeah, I've got this little bottle. I got it from from one of those $2 shops in the craft section, and it's got like a little skinny spout, and that's really good for filling up the water painters because the little spout fits. Oh, that's my puppy in the background, excuse her. The little spout fits down into these, and it's really easy to fill up with that. So I usually have that on hand, but all of my trolleys are out in our front room at the moment. They're not here in my craft room. Well, I've got one in here, but all the others aren't in here at the moment because we had to move a few things around when I hurt my back. All right, so Cajun Craze is the next one. We're doing that, the next book down, the second one in Cajun Craze. I love too with this stamp set that you've already got the sentiment built in to the stamp. It's already on the books. So, but as I said at the beginning, if you don't want to use those sentiments, or you don't like those sentiments, but you still like this stamp set, you can mask off with a little bit of washi tape those words, and you don't need to use them. But I like them, so I'm using them. All right, so I'm going to go lighter here with the color. Now, if you don't get the depth of color that you want the first time, you can add more color. Okay, so when you're watercoloring, so don't be too concerned. Okay, so do that a bit lighter, and then our little flower is going to have a green center or an old olive center, and then I'm using that Daffodil Delight for a little pop of color for the petals. And oh, while we had the Cajun Craze out, I forgot to do our little bookmark here. That's going to be Cajun. All right, now for the pages, I want these books to sort of look like they're old and aged. So you know, sometimes you get when books get really old, the pages turn that sort of yellowy color. I'm going to use the Daffodil Delight very lightly on the pages to give them that little bit of yellowy tinge to them. Oh, I missed a bit of blue here. I missed the top of the book and the edges here. There we go. All right, so we'll just put a little bit of daffodil down here. We don't want it to be too bright, so we don't want to add too much because we want it to look old and yellowed. All right, there we go. So we've done all of our coloring. So now we can bring in our water painter, or you can use your blender brush, whichever one you choose. Now, just if you are using the blender brush, you have to be careful not to go over the same spot too many times, because it will cause the cardstock to break down if you go over it too many times, and it'll start to peel and sort of break away. So yeah, just keep that in mind when you're using the blender brush. Same with the water painter, but you have a little bit more leeway. All right. Oh, Judy's here. She's finished her lawn. She's off to Bible study and she's going to watch the replay. No worries. Looking good though. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think this is one that you will like, Judy, because I know that you like watercoloring. All right, so here we go. So we're going to do our watercoloring now. Now we also do have our watercolor paper. So that is also another great paper that you can use for this technique, and you will get a different look, and it does take up the water in a different way to the ordinary thick or basic white cardstock. If you want something that is a bit hardier to take the water a bit better, that you can work a bit more, then the watercolor paper is great to use for that as well. There we go. I'm just going to add a little bit of, I'll see if I can bring it down. Not quite. I don't want to overwork that. I'm trying to get the color. I didn't actually color in between each of those flowers with the gray. So I'll just add a little bit of, this one is basic gray. Just going to add a little bit of gray in between each of those petals there to bring that color down into there. You probably can't tell on camera. Actually, I should put my glasses on, shouldn't I? So I can see a bit better. Alrighty. And yeah, just bring that color down in there. There we go. All right, so remembering to clean your brush between colors. So just brush that off onto your scrap. Now, if it dries your brush out too much, just give another little squeeze, but don't squeeze too hard. I like to test it on my skin actually, because I find I can get a better idea of how wet it is. There we go. That's looking pretty good. All right, and then we'll do our little leaves. If it starts to run a little bit too much, then just dab it onto your paper towel so that you can take off some of the moisture from the tip. Okay, so that's the green. Well, actually, we could go down while we're doing the green. We can go down and do the rest of the green, can't we? And that way we don't need to clean our brushes often, and that'll probably be a little bit quicker, actually. There we go. So go into our book. Just be careful as you're doing it if you've got other colors as well on the same piece. So see, I've got blue up here, I've got the brown down here. You have to be really careful when you get near those other colors, and I've got Cajun down below, because you don't want to actually blend those two colors together, unless that's the look that you're going for. If you want blended colors, then of course go ahead. There we go. And down there. Now, where else have we got the green? We've got the petal, the leaves here and the center of the flower. We've got the leaves down here. And I think that's all of our green. Yep, okay, so we can clean that one off now. Make sure we've got all of that green off the brush tip. And now we'll do the blue. And here is where I probably could have used the fine tip brush for this one, because this is very fine details on the glasses. And you can tell I'm concentrating because I went quiet. There we go. So who else likes watercoloring? Let me know in the comments if you enjoy watercoloring, or let me know if this is a technique that you haven't tried before, but you would like to try. There we go. All right, so while we've got the blue, let's color in the label here, the every label, and then we'll color in this book down here. Now we've got to be very careful down this little section here because we've got the leaves there, so we've got to go around those leaves really carefully. I love the leads or the tips of these watercolor pencils. They're really soft, and they color so beautifully. But if you love coloring in, then you can use these pencils just as ordinary coloring in pencils as well. And of course they are in the Stampin' Up colors, so they coordinate with all of our ink pads, our cardstock, our Stampin' blends, all of the color coordination with the Stampin' Up colors, and that's what I love about them. There we go. So just blend that all down. I'll just get my brush a little bit wet. When you are squeezing it, I suggest not to squeeze it over your project. Ask me how I know. I've made that mistake more than once. And the water has just flowed too quickly, and then I've ended up ruining my piece because it just came out quicker than I was expecting. There we go. All right, we'll blend this down a little bit more. There we go, beautiful. Okay, good. All right, we'll clean that one off. Give another squeeze. Whoops, there we go. See, I squeezed too hard that time. Lucky I had it over the paper towel. Where are we up to? We haven't done this one yet, the Cajun Craze. Let's see, in the comments, Robin said, love it. Haven't done it in ages. So she's talking about watercoloring. So she got the pencils to do some more. Fantastic. Oh, that's really good, Robin. You'll have so much fun with them when you receive them in your order. Did you say before that they hadn't come yet? You just ordered them, is that right? Am I remembering correctly? Rose said she does it smooths out your coloring. Yes. Yeah, that's a good thing too, that if you like coloring but you don't necessarily like how your coloring looks, it does smooth out your coloring. So you're exactly right, Rose. Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad that some of you are enjoying watercoloring. And Jenny said she doesn't, she said, I don't mind it. It covers mistakes sometimes. Haha. That's exactly right, Jenny. No mistakes in card making, just creative, what do they say? Creative opportunities. Yeah, no mistakes in card making, just creative opportunities. Me too. My daughter Amber is a beautiful colorinnerer, as I say. She loves coloring, and she's got a lot of those adult coloring books, and it's one of the things that she loves to pass away the hours. She really enjoys it, finds it very relaxing, and she is so beautiful with her coloring, so precise. I like coloring too, but I'm not so precise. So watercoloring for me, yes, is a good option because it does help to smooth everything out, as everyone's been saying. All right, so we'll go down to our book here at the bottom now. And I love watercolor painting too. So if, you know, when you see beautiful paintings by artists that are watercolored, I just love how they look. Just love that sort of flowy. I don't know if it's because they look flowy or they just look soft or what it is about it. Something about it. I don't know. But yeah, I do quite love a good watercolor painting. All right, so just go gently along here along the edge so I don't go outside of the lines, and then we do our little label here. So see, when you're doing your coloring for when you're going to be doing watercoloring and you're coloring with the pencils, you don't need to color neatly. You just sort of scribble the color down onto your cardstock, and then once you blend it all out with your water brush, it looks fantastic and you look like an artist. See, makes me look professional. There we go. All right, so now we've got to do, I'll just make sure that's clean before I go to the yellow. We've got to do the pages here on the books, and we'll blend that. So just being careful too, because I've got a little bit of color that's bled from the green there. So the pages on that one might be a little bit greeny looking, but that's okay. So just soften these up. Now, of course, if you, once you've colored this, if you set that aside to dry, or you hit it with a little bit of heat from your heat tool, that's the best thing before you put it together on your project. My heat tool, I was using it on the weekend to film a class, but where did it end up? Oh, it is over there. I'm just not sure if I can bend down to pick it up. But I could do that. Oh, we've got a storm rolling in. I can hear the thunder just starting up. And it's getting quite dark out the window there. There we go. So there we go. Now, if I had had the fine brush, I probably would have done the glasses with the fine brush. I think I would have got that looking a bit neater with that one. But hey, it's watercoloring, so it doesn't matter too much, does it? There we go. All right, awesome. So that is all done. So just clean that brush off, pop your cap back on to protect it, and that is ready to go. Alrighty, so I might grab my heat tool and we'll pop a little bit of heat on that just to make sure that that's dry before we put together all our layers. Oh, hey Megan, how you going? Yeah, so that we make sure that it's nice and dry before we put that all together. So let me just grab my heat tool. Yay, I reached it. Now 3 weeks ago I wouldn't have been able to bend down to reach that, so there we go. I am improving. Okay, so let's plug this in. I'll have to unplug something. What do I need to unplug? Let me see. I'll unplug my computer. Just gonna have to reach over for a moment. Excuse me. Reaching across the desk and all the noises. There we go. Yeah, I didn't think to get that out beforehand. And we're just going to put it on, so this is the Stampin' Up! Heat tool. We use this for heat embossing, but it's also a great tool for drying. And if you're drying anything, you use it on heat setting number 1, okay? And then we just give that a little bit of a gentle heat because we don't want to curl that cardstock up too much, but we want that watercoloring to dry. And isn't that just a nice soft palette? So I wanted them to look like aged books. Oh, you know what? I've missed a bit. I just realized I've missed the tiniest little bit, which you probably can't see, but I can. And it's the, hang on a minute, let me get the water flowing again because I dried my brush off on the paper towel. There we go. It's these bits down here, the little brown stripes on the green book. I missed those, which probably wouldn't have been too noticeable until I actually went to photograph it. Then it would have been. There we go. Okay, now we're good to heat. All right, so let's heat that bit there now because that's really wet. Oh, it bled a little bit. That's okay. It's watercolor. It's all good. Yeah, so just a really nice soft palette. You can do these bright and fun and cheery, but I just wanted to do a really neutral palette to make them look like they were old. And see how my cardstock is starting to curl up a little bit? That's because I'm heating it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over and heat it on the other side, and that'll help to flatten it back down. Did you know that trick? If your cardstock starts to curl when you're heating, just flip it over and heat it on the other side. Helps it to flatten back down. Doesn't help that I've got the cardstock underneath, because the cardstock actually, the paper, I should say. The paper curls too. There we go. So that's a bit flatter than it was. And the rest will flatten out as we adhere that down. So that's nice and dry now, which is great. And as I said, if you wanted to add any Wink of Stella, you can colour directly with your Wink of Stella onto those watercolour pencils, or you can add it later. But just be mindful, because you've used watercolour pencils, if you added it now, it will take up a little bit more of the colour, because it's basically you're going to be adding more water to the watercolouring that's already there. Okay, but I'm not going to add any Wink of Stella today, but that's just an option that you have if you would like to. All right, so let's bring in our other pieces that we had. Here we go. And we can layer those all together now. So I'm going to pop this one down onto our cinnamon cider. So I'm going to, because this is a little bit curly, because we've done watercoloring on it and then heated it, and it's still left it a little bit curly, we can gently just ease that with our fingers, or you could use your bone folder as well. Wait, where's my bone folder? Wow, it's just become really, really dark here. I wonder if we're going to get hail. It's only it's 5:18 here now, and it's almost like night time. It's so dark. I think we might get hail. Oh, I hope nobody's out in it. Ah, Laurie said pretty. Thank you. Yeah, so just use your bone folder and just gently ease those fibers in your cardstock to flatten that back out. That's a bit flatter now. But I am going to use a strong adhesive just to be sure. So let's see. I think I'll use my tear and tape. So, oh yes, we've got hail. I can see it bouncing outside the window. I can see it bouncing off the fence. I thought it looked like it was about to hail. Oh dear. That's not good. I hope my family aren't out in that. I can hear it hitting the windows as well. Oh, now poor puppy, she'll be beside herself. We had a hailstorm the other day too, and she freaked out. Hey Julie, how you going? Julie, we've got hail here. Oh, Amber's just saying the hail is here and it's big. Oh dear. Amber, is Jake or Dad out, or are they all home? Just wondering who's out and who's home. I heard the front door before, but I don't know if that's just because my husband's checking on the weather, or if he actually went out somewhere. Please keep the storm down there, Megan said. I don't like storms. Yeah, I'm not a big fan either, Megan. Hey, Julie, if it hasn't hit you yet, it might be on its way to you. You're not far from me. So just, yeah, be careful. All right, so now we're just going to line this up. Sorry if you can hear that hail from the storm. So I'm just going to line this up side to side, and because I've used tear and tape, I'm trying to be really careful. Whoops, because I'm just doing the top edge first, because it's a very strong adhesive. So once I stick this down, I won't be able to move it again. So I've got to make sure that I get it lined up right the first time. I hope that's about, wow, it slipped. It's a bit tricky because the cardstock is curled up a little bit with that heat. There we go. I think that's okay. There we go. Actually, because that's thick basic white, I could have just used my multi-purpose liquid glue, which probably would have been better, because then I would have had that wiggle time to line that up perfectly. But that's okay. We've got the tape down now. Oh, no hail there yet. Yeah, it is hitting here at the moment, Julie, and it's quite big, the girls said. So it might be on its way to you, or it might just miss you. But it's, yeah, it's hailing here right now, and it's very dark. There we go. All right, so that's our first layer. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll just set that one aside for the moment, and we're going to have these two pieces here. So these are the strips from the designer series paper, and basically we're doing color on color. So pear pizzazz onto pear pizzazz. And they're going to go like that, and then they're just going to peek from behind there. Now this time I will use my multi-purpose liquid glue because I want the wiggle time on these pieces because they're much smaller. And I want to be able to maneuver them to get them in the right spot. There we go. So these are going right to the top and then right to the bottom. And the best way to make sure that you've got them right is to turn your card up and press the cardstock down towards that edge, and then do it on one of your long edges as well. And then once you're happy with that, then press it down. All right, we'll do the same on the bottom as well. And this is double-sided too, so you can choose which design you want to use. I liked this one, and it just gives a little bit of something. Like, it's not too much. As I said, because the stamp is very busy, you don't need a whole heap with this stamp. I mean, you can add whatever you like, but I wanted to keep it very plain and simple, to do a little bit of simple stamping. There we go. Alrighty, and then what we're going to do is we're going to pop this one up on dimensionals just to give it a little bit of a lift on there. Now, before we do that, we might like to decide if we want to use some ribbon. So let me just get rid of this grid paper. I've got a few different options here that I pulled out, and of course I've got my bling too. So we can go, because we're doing sort of more of a neutral palette, I've got some neutral ideas. So these are the ones that I had in mind, and it would depend on if you're making this as a masculine card too, or if you're giving it to a female. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but we've got this faux suede trim, which is really nice, and I love using that for masculine cards. I've also got this new cotton ribbon combo pack, which I haven't used yet. So I thought the blue from this might be nice, and I pulled this out the other day and I opened up the blue, which is Misty Moonlight, and I couldn't believe how soft this is. It's like a very soft, I don't know, is it cotton? Yeah, it is cotton. That's what it's called. It's cotton ribbon combo pack. It's a really, really soft cotton ribbon, and I thought that would go. It's a little bit of a different blue, but it's kind of a neutral color, and I thought maybe that might go as well. That one won't go because that's sort of a, what's that? That's Petal Pink, I think, that one. I haven't opened that one yet. Or, of course, we've got our beautiful baker's twine or our linen trim. So I thought we could have a little bit of a play. We've also got some balmy blue baker's twine that's got silver in it. Actually, I might like to do it at the top here and have a bow here. Because see how we've got a bit of white space there? We could have our bow up there. I won't attach that just yet, but I'm just wondering, do we want something a little bit thinner like that, or do we want something a little bit thicker like that? Let's try a bow in this and see how that's going to look. This is so soft. I can't even begin to tell you how soft this ribbon is. Has anybody got this ribbon? Have you played with it before? It's beautiful. I think it's the softest ribbon I've ever felt, actually. It's really nice. That might look nice up there. What do you think? And then we can run the ribbon across there like so. We run that across the top and then have a bow on this side. Like that. Oh, our little puppy's crying upstairs. Well, not crying, she's barking because she doesn't like the storm. How about that? What do you think? That will be a bow, obviously, with the tail ends. That might look nice up there, hey? Kind of goes with the glasses and the book. Oh, lightning. That was... Oh, did you all hear that? That's so loud. Or we could use the brown one too. What colour is that? I think that's Early Espresso. Yeah, Early Espresso. That one would look nice as well. Let's see. Did you all just hear that? Diane said a small tassel with twine up in the corner would be good. Oh, a tassel would be good too. I don't have any tassels. And I don't think I have time to make a tassel. But that sounds like a really nice option too. There's that one too. That's a little bit, maybe this one in a knot would be nice. And then have a strip. Oh, our poor puppy, she doesn't like the storm. She's going off her head upstairs. I can hear her. If I had that like that and then had a strip across there, how would that look? Oh, you know what I can do? Hang on a sec. Let me just cut this. What a shame I don't have any tassels, Diane. That sounds like a good idea. Because that would kind of look a little bit like a bookmark then too, wouldn't it? What if I did this? If I tied that in a knot around that, like so, and obviously trimmed the ends because they're way too long. What if I did this? I hope my husband's not out in that storm. He was due to go out this evening to go and pick drop something off to somebody. So I hope he didn't go yet. Could put that there like that. I think it needs to go down that way though. No, I think I like the blue. I think I like the blue better. Or do you think the maybe one of the twines? We could do some of the twine. We've got, you know what, we've got some very vanilla and we've got some grey and we've got some crumb cake. One of those ones might be good. Not the black or the white, I don't think. One of these ones might be good. What about the grey? We could wrap that around a couple of times. Oh, even the grey might be good because we've got the grey cup there too. What if we wrap that around a couple of times? How would that look? Let's see. Decisions, everybody. What do you all think? Am I getting closer? Let's move that up a little bit. And we could tie a bow over that side. Oh, that one might be nice. What do you think? That's the, I think it's grey granite. Or is it smoky slate? I think it's grey granite. That one might be nice at the top there. Okay, what do you think? I need votes. Do you like the grey granite or do you like the blue? Which one do you prefer? The baker's twine, the grey granite baker's twine, or the misty moonlight blue cotton ribbon? That one or that one? I'm vibing this one actually. What do you all think? I need some help. I need some help to make some choices or some decisions. Grey, Rose likes the grey. Diane likes the twine as well, the grey twine. Oh, good. So that's 2 for the twine. Yep. Julie said the grey twine. Oh, we got 3 for the twine. Looks like the twine is going to win. So 3 for the twine. I'll go the twine then. All right. I haven't tied that off yet actually. I mean, cut that yet, so I can still, well, I can cut that. Let's just cut that there. All right, so you like the grey twine. Okay, so let's leave that one on there then, and I'll just tie a bow over this side with the grey twine. I've left myself lots of excess now, so I'll tie a bow here. Hey, I might have got my bow first time this time. That rarely happens. Usually I have to tie it several times before I get it right. Especially when I'm filming. There we go. There. And I'll just separate those little fibers out a little bit. Can you all hear the storm? It's really loud. The thunder is blaring, although it's not as loud as it was earlier. It's settling down a bit, I think. Got those fibers there that are just crossing at the wrong point. There we go. I think that's okay there like that. And then we can trim these up. There. Yeah, I like that. Now I'll separate the ends. There you go. Look, Diane, I'm making little tassels now. They'll have like little tassel-y ends on the ends of the twine. We'll just separate them a bit. Separate those fibers. Add a little bit of texture. There we go. Cool. Yeah, all right, awesome. Yeah, I like that. Good choice, everybody. Good choice. All right, I'm going to pop some dimensionals down now on the back of that, and we'll pop that up. Okay, let's find my take your pick tool. Alrighty. So what I might do is I might put a couple of mini ones up here at the top. Just, oops, just above that twine there, so that I don't need to move my twine at all. Oh, there we go. Great. Good. And then we'll put some large ones around the rest. Adding lots of dimensionals. As you all know, I love my dimensionals, and I like to make sure that my piece is nice and stable. Now, especially too, because remember we had that little bit of warping with the heating. So we want to make sure that our piece is nice and stable and it's going to stick down nice and flat. So just remove the paper backings from the dimensionals now to reveal our sticky or our adhesive. There we go. All right. And now we're simply just going to add this to the front, and it's going to line up side to side. And we're just going to have an even border, top and bottom. So we've got about a 1/2 centimetre border. There we go. Great. Now, if you want to make sure that that bow is going to stay put, you can add a little glue dot underneath it, just to make sure that that's going to stay put. I'm just going to leave it for the moment. I think it's going to be okay. And now let's add some bling. So I've got a couple of choices today. What did I bring out? Let's see. I've got the champagne rhinestones, which I think would match beautifully with those brown tones. Oh, Julie said, it's a shame you can't use the tassels from the Best Dressed suite. Oh yeah, that's right. There were tassels in those, weren't they? I probably still have some of those in my retired stash too, but they're not current. So, but yeah, that would have been a good idea, and add that to the twine. Oh, well, there you go. If anyone's got any of those in their stash, in their retired stash, that's another option for you. Okay, so we have, I'm just popping my tweezers, my scissors away, I should say, my snips. We've got the 2020 to 2022 in color square gems, and I was thinking perhaps the cinnamon cider ones might go nicely, because we've got the cinnamon cider there. Or we've got the brushed metallic adhesive back dots with it, which are a bit more rustic, like our color palette. Or the champagne rhinestones, which I think you can't go wrong with, because they would blend in beautifully with all of those colors that we have there. So which ones would you like me to use? Do you have a preference? And I bet I'm going to get lots of different answers. So Megan says the metallic ones. Okay. Yeah, what does everybody else think? So metallics for Megan. They would look awesome, wouldn't they? Because it would give that sort of aged look. What does everyone else think? Cast your votes. So we've got the champagne rhinestones, the brushed metallic dots, or the in color squares. Oh, sorry, you probably can't see those well in the light there. I think the light is just reflecting a little bit on those. So what do you think? Do you have a preference, or you don't mind? Shall I choose? Or Megan and I will choose. Oh, that's great, Megan. Megan's been playing all day with the All Together suite. That's awesome. So great. I look forward to seeing what you make, Megan. You'll have to send me some photos. Megan likes the middle ones too. And Rose said the metallic ones. Oh, the metallic ones are popular. Okay, we've got a few votes for those. Let's go with those ones then. All right. Now the next decision to make is which color. We've got the gold, which I don't think the gold would go so much. So we've either got the copper or the bronze? Well, let's have a look. I'm thinking, well, I think either would go, because the copper would kind of go with the Cajun Craze and the cinnamon cider. But then the bronzy ones, they're sort of more aged as well, aren't they? What if we use, let's see, let's use a couple of these ones. Oh yeah, look at that. What do you think? Does that color look good? I'm going to put more than one, but what do you think? That color? Kind of goes, doesn't it? Like that coppery color. I think that looks pretty cool. All right, let's use a couple of small ones as well. Let's put a couple, let's see, where will we put them? Put one there, and we could put one over here perhaps. What do you think? We could even, you know what we could do? What if we put one on each side of this book? Would that show up? No, not so much. No. I changed my mind. Don't like them there. What do you think? Like that? Or we could go like this too. We could have two like this, and then we could have this one, or we could have three, no, not three. We could put this one over this side somewhere to balance it a little bit. What do you think about that? Could bling up the glasses. Yeah, I did think about that actually, Megan, using my Wink of Stella. I was thinking I might do that. I thought about it when I was talking about the Wink of Stella before, and I said, no, I'm not going to add any. And in my mind, I thought, oh, the glasses would look really good. But I thought that's extra time, so I didn't do it. But I can if you want me to. So you like that? Oh, Rose said, no, make a triangle. Make the triangle like I had it before. Okay, we can do that. So we can put that one back up there and move this one down a little bit. And then we've got our triangle of... Do you like that better, Rose? Do you think that's more balanced like that? Maybe this one needs to come up a little bit higher, do you think? Oops. Oh, I'm going to lose his backing. Come on. Come on. Oh, our puppy's still barking. Can you hear our puppy barking upstairs? Oh, hang on. I'm losing the backing of this one because I'm trying to move it. Oh, it's very sticky. Oh, I think that one's going to have to stay there, actually, because I was losing its backing. Oh, that's better. You like that, Megan, too? Like that? Balanced like that? Okay. There we go. All right. So that's our brushed metallic dots. Shall I add a little bit of sparkle to the glasses, do you think? Add a little bit of Wink of Stella. We'll see how we go. I'm not sure if you'll see it on camera, but let's just see. Make them sparkly warkly. Do like a bit of sparkle, I have to say. As you all know, I like my ribbon and bling, so anything blingy I do like. Now what I'm doing, because it's such a tiny area, I'm just dabbing the tip of that brush on those glasses. There we go. Oh, shall I make the arms sparkle too? Make the arms of the glasses sparkle. There we go. Good. I was just worried that it might make the colour bleed a little bit more. That's why I was hesitant to do it before, Megan. But just by dabbing that colour, it actually hasn't, and it hasn't lifted any of that colour up either, which is good. I will just check. I'll clean my tip there. Awesome. There we go. There's our beautiful card all done. So it was a really easy layout. Thank you so much for helping me. Glue dot it. Oh, glue dot the. Oh, it's okay. It actually, I was more concerned about the stickiness staying on the cardstock and not being able to get it off. But it actually adhered back onto it, the same spot. So it's all good. It's not going to fall off. Thanks, Megan. Yeah, so really easy layout and super, super easy to do, but just a little bit time consuming, of course, because you're colouring. So whenever you're colouring, it's always going to take a bit of time. Can you see that sparkle with the Wink of Stella on the glasses or not. I can see it here, but I'm not sure if it'll pick up on camera because it's only such a fine area. So I'm not sure if you'll see it on there or not. Probably not. But anyway, it looks great. Looks great here. Looks great this end. Oh, thanks everyone. I'm so glad you like it. Thank you for helping me decide on the ribbon and bling too. Sometimes it's a bit tricky to decide, isn't it? Especially when you've got so many options. Oh, Megan just sent me, Megan Gork-Roger just sent me some photos of 2 of her cards. Oh, awesome, Megan. I look forward to looking at them when I'm finished. Oh, Amber said Callie wants chicken even though the party is finished. Okay, so let me explain to you. We taught Callie on New Year's Eve. We did some training with her because of the fireworks, and she's a very anxious doggy and she doesn't like any loud noises, and she was freaking out on New Year's Eve with the fireworks. So we were telling her it's a party, and we were telling her it's a party, but also treating her with chicken as well, because that's her special treat, and that helps us with her training. And so now whenever we have a thunderstorm, which we've only had a couple of bad ones since then, we tell her it's a party because it's loud noise and she freaks out. So we tell her it's a party. So every time we say the word party, she thinks she's going to get chicken now. So, so that's what Amber was just saying in the comments, that Callie wants chicken because they're telling her it's a party because of the storm. Oh, so there you go. Oh, well, you have to come down and get her some chicken for the party, Amber. They've got Callie upstairs at the moment. Oh, Megan Gork-Roger said that she made a card with the same color skin tones as her goddaughter. Oh, that's good. You were looking forward to that, weren't you, Megan? I'm sure she's going to love it. Great. And Megan said she loves this stamp and she can't wait to order it now. That's great. Oh, good. I'm so glad you like it. I'm just catching up on comments. I had to go back a bit. I saw that I had missed a few. Rose said that I'm like a magpie because I love the bling. Yes. Love anything shiny and blingy. You're so right. Megan Lacornu said, I thought you had been stamping fruit on your paper towel. Oh, no, it's pre-printed, Megan. It's actually not the one that we normally get, and my husband doesn't actually like this one because it's funny. It's like normally you get like a square piece, but this one's actually in smaller strips, like it's perforated in smaller strips, and he doesn't like it. So he doesn't want to get this one again, he said. But so I'm using it up in my craft room. But no, I haven't been stamping to make pretty, but you could, if you wanted to, make pretty handy towel by stamping images. They might come off, however, when you go to use it. Oh, thank you. You're welcome, Robin. Thank you so much for your time too, for coming and joining us today. Megan Lacornu says, looks great, love it. Megan Gork-Roger said same as the other Megan. That's great. Love the stamp. Megan Gork-Roger said that's the next on her list. Fantastic. That's great. Yes, the chicken, yeah. Sounds, Megan said, sounds like her nephew, but his chicken is chalky milk. Ah, yes. Oh, bowerbird. Bowerbird likes the blingy things. That's right, yes. The bowerbirds are the ones, not the magpies. Yeah, bowerbirds. That's right. Are the bowerbirds the ones that like things that are blue as well? Is it blue and sparkly things? Or am I thinking of a different type of bird? I don't know. Oh, Megan Gork-Roger said she loves this paper towel for the size, and she's got a similar one as dish rags, and they are recyclable. Oh, awesome. There you go. Oh, and Rose said, I'm a clever girl. Thank you. Yes, they are. Oh, they are. Yes, the bowerbirds, they like blue and shiny things. Well, there you go. Maybe I'm a bowerbird. Although I like pink and purple, not so much blue, although I use blue today. But I do like blue, but it's not my favorite color. So anyway, there we go, everybody. So there's our card. All right, so let me flip up the camera so that I can say goodbye to you all face to face. I'm glad that you all enjoyed that project. I'll just pop the stamp set down again in case you were needed reminding which one it was. So it's the Every Chapter. If you want the code, I'll give you the code as well. So grab your pen. I'll give you the code for this one. It is 158017, and you can find that in the mini catalogue. So it's from this one. So it's available until the end of June, and then it will be gone. Most likely. I mean, we don't know yet which ones are carrying over, but most likely it'll be gone after that. So there you go. All right, so I'm going to cover up the camera. So bear with me for one moment, and I'm going to flippity flip, and then I can say goodbye to you all face to face, because I like to do that. I feel that it's the polite thing to do. Excuse all the squeakiness while I tighten up my clamps. I just don't want the camera to fall. Flip, flip, adjust my lights. There we go. Otherwise I'm in the half dark. And oh, left my pony in. I tied my hair up when I was colouring because it was getting in my way and I was getting hot. So I quickly tied it up. You caught me with my hair still tied up. There we go, but that's okay. You don't mind, do you? Oh, I dropped my ice pack on the floor. I'll have to get my grabber to pick it up. So there we go. There's our card for today. I'm so glad that you really like that one. I love the colours. If you make this card and you use different colours, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see what you do. Another thing you can do, which I forgot to mention too, is once you've coloured this with your preferred colour medium, and you might even like to use Stampin' blends as well. Depends on what your favourite colouring medium is. You can actually fussy cut these. Now I know some of you don't like fussy cutting. That's okay. Those of you who don't like fussy cutting, just do what I did. But those of you who do love fussy cutting, you could fussy cut this out and then pop that up on dimensionals to give it an extra lift and an extra dimension. And you could even individually do the books at different heights as well, and all sorts of things. So much you could do with that one, but I just kept it really simple today. So there you go. So thank you so much everyone for joining me. It's great to have you with me each week, and I hope that you had fun. And for those of you that are crafting, feel free to send me photos of your projects. I would love to see what you've been making. And yeah, so let's see. I just missed a couple of other comments. Megan Gorkrod just said her grandmother used to call her the bowerbird as she loves blue and shiny things. Oh, there you go. There you go. Going to use the neutral blends to make vintage books. Oh, awesome. Fantastic. Oh, I look forward to seeing them when you do them, Megan. Well, that's great. I hope that you picked up some tips today as well on watercoloring. Remember, there were all those different tips. If you jumped in part way through, feel free to go back and watch the replay so you can see all of the different watercoloring tips, because I talked about using other colouring mediums, and I showed a few tips there as well of using different colouring mediums to do watercolouring. So yeah, I hope that you all learned something new today, or if you didn't, if you already knew all of this, I hope that you enjoyed your time with me. So thank you all so much for being with me again today. I look forward to seeing you all again next time. So I'll be back live again next Monday at 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. We won't be able to say that too much longer, will we? Because we're going to lose daylight savings in the next few weeks. But yeah, I hope that you'll have a great week, and I hope that you'll be able to join me again soon. And remember too, the other thing too, if you jumped in part way through, I've got the class coming up, and the registration closes tomorrow, and that is my Rainbow of Happiness class. So check in my events section, or if you would like me to send you the registration form, then you can, if you can't find it in the event section, contact me and I will send you the registration form and you can look that up, or you can go to my website and you'll find it there in my calendar of events. All right, but I'd love to have you join us for that class. It's going to be great. We're making 6 cards, 3 designs, 2 of each, and they are beautiful, very bright, happy, sunny projects. Yes, definitely check that out, Megan. Check out the class. You'll find it in the events section. of this, but if you can't find it, let me know. All right, well, I look forward to seeing you all next time. I'll let you all go now because we have been crafting for nearly 2 hours. So 5 hours. It's 5:52. So when did I start? Just after 4. So yeah, it's been a long one today, but I hope you enjoyed it. So I'll go. I'm terrible at saying goodbyes. I hate saying goodbyes. I hate to see you all go, but I'll see you all next time. Until then, happy crafting, everyone. Bye.